Hello and welcome to We the People. The National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test 2021 or the NEET exam was conducted on the 12th of September. Like every year, thousands of aspirants participated with the hope of securing a seat in any medical college in India. So around 16 lakh students appeared for this exam in various NEET test centres across the country, and they're all competing to get through to the only 1.5 lakh seats across various medical colleges in India. So now students and families are on tenterhooks for results that could change their lives. And this is an exam that has been mired in controversy. This week, in another tragic case, a 17-year-old student from Orapakkam in Chennai attempted self-immolation, allegedly fearing her NEET scores. 3 NEET aspirants have died by suicide in the past week across Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu government has introduced a bill to exempt state medical aspirants from NEET. But there's no magic wand that can dramatically alter the status quo. The narrative here, NEET has become crystallized as the only means of gaining admission to medical institutions, including private colleges. This after the Supreme Court's categorical view that such a test alone can help maintain standards. And tonight, we want to hear from medical students, from NEET aspirants, and from those who have crossed this trial by fire. Through them, let's try and dispassionately examine the NEET narrative. Can we not have a system that allows for a fair admission process while preserving inter-se merit and preventing rampant commercialization? We will have on the show Dr. J.A. Jayalal, President of the IMA, and Mr. Faizan Mustafa, VC of the Nalsar University, a constitutional expert. But first, I want to go to Manimuri Ravi Kumar. She's a NEET aspirant, and K. Hiskar Emmer, the NEET aspirant, both of them from Tamil Nadu. Manimuri, first to you. You are not in favor of NEET. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself? And why has this NEET become such a demonized exam? What is the problem here?
Okay, so I'm Manimuri. So just now I have, this September 12th, I wrote my NEET exam. The first point is why I oppose NEET is like it increases the depth of level playing field in India. So it's like already we have private schools, metric syllabus, state syllabus, etc. and in different languages. So when it comes to NEET, the questions are actually very, application oriented, and we have to answer them quickly. So it definitely needs some coaching. So the kids in rural areas or those who are not aware of NEET, they can't get coaching and all that. So it's like, it's literally creating a level of inequality in a society.
Tell us a little bit about your experience. Firstly, congratulations. You sat for the exam. How are you feeling? Your family, everyone?
Yeah, everybody is really anxious about the results.
Well, I'm sure you've done very well. But Manimuri, as you explained, there are so many different boards in the country. There's so many different parts of our country, different states. That's why, do you understand why they say you need a centralized exam?
Excuse me, can you repeat the question?
The need for a centralized exam.
Okay, so what my point is like, if there is CBSE, there should be one board for the whole country, which will create an equality. Okay. Let's go across to Dr. Jayalal, President of the IMA. Dr. Jayalal, I can understand. Thank you for your time coming on the show. I can understand it will be quite difficult for the government to grant relief to one state alone. But Doctor, you heard Manimuri Ravi Kumar. She speaks for many students who are right now on tenterhooks waiting for these results. There's a larger problem here, sir, a perception that this is an inequitable admission system. And inequitable, it favors the rich, it favors the, elite. 3 suicides this week and dozens of young lives lost since the common entrance exam for medical courses was first introduced in 2017. This is very worrying.
Yeah, first of all, as a medical doctor, we welcome the NEET concept. That means a centralized selection criteria for the quality-oriented people who have rich knowledge. But unfortunately, the objective with which it was introduced do not fulfill the objectives in its full sense, because what we thought initially, it will be favors the ultimately the legitimate, the quality oriented students will have an opportunity. But unfortunately, the player of the NEET is mainly now the coaching centers. The business deal is going around the 24,000 crores is in average we are expecting. So what we are seeing is only the people from the urban area where has the capacity to go for the drilling or the coaching centers, where they are keeping the standard of an expected of the NEET in a very high level. What we are subsequently seeing in the examinations, which we are supposed to get at the +2 level entrance examination. But this coaching center is the standard in which they are teaching and making every time the people in a very perplexed mode. I think that is literally harming the the students who are aspiring for that. So we are in particular, we are opposing, if there is a need, somebody can pass only when they go through the coach. And what is the purpose in that? What is the purpose of having so many schools in the rural area, so many people we are teaching on that area? So that we are happy. So now the government, when Tamil Nadu government is passing a resolution that it should be kept, I am not disturbed by the people who are dying. That is not, we are not welcoming that, and we are not saying that just because somebody is dying that we should change the principle or protocol. But we literally see there is some fallacy is there, there is a problem is there which can be improved. And if the government can ensure it is only based on the teaching on a common platform and on the syllabus which is being taught in the school curriculum, the questions will be there, people will be selected, absolutely it is a welcome move. But if it is still the situation where it is only the people of the corporate sector, by the coaching they will be getting it, we are definitely feel that this is the time for us to re-look into the NEET, the way
but
in
sir,
which
that's
it is
such a I mean, that's a demand that that can't be fulfilled. How can a government ensure that only there's a common teaching platform and only students learning through that, there's nobody takes private coaching? It's not going to happen. So realistically, what is the solution then?
Yes, definitely it is possible, provided you say that what is the standard in which you are going to ask the question, and you are not going to make the questions beyond your syllabus. Why should get a question when you are making them to enter into your medicine? Your questions are going to be in a higher standard where somebody who is finishing the MBBS has to answer. Because the coaching, you are keeping the question at that level, that coaching is becoming necessary, not mandatory.
Okay.
Otherwise, it is not mandatory.
Okay. Faizan Mustafa joins us. Mr. Mustafa, NEET stands on the premise that you have one common entrance test, right? And only a common entrance test can ensure merit-based admissions, can ensure fairness, transparency, non-exploitation. Now, to ask that NEET cater to the lowest common denominator, I mean, it's not about that, right? It's about standardizing medical education and ensuring we have a quality of medical graduates who will hopefully go on to serve society.
Sarah, thank you very much for having me here. I have been writing, against the common test for almost 17 years now, because the original proposal came in during Vajpayee government. And then when Arjun Singh took over in 2004, the first action of UPA government was to scrap this proposal. My objection to the common test comes from a different perspective. My perspective is why we are undermining diversity. When I was, when I went to a university, the first question during my ragging was, explain India in one word. And I said diversity. So this whole question of standardization.
Okay.
Do you get good doctors only because there is one test? That means all the doctors who have treated us all these years were not great doctors. I think when a doctor is coming out, we would like to see him, whether he is a passionate doctor, whether he is a courageous doctor, whether he is empathetic towards his patients, and no common test, be it JEE or CLAT or NEET, would test these qualities. So ideally, a test should test the qualities of the professional whom we are selecting for that course. And as you know, I have been writing on this, that the scholarship in United States and elsewhere is now well established that any common test, be it LSAT in United States, it favor the rich, it favor the people who are living in cosmopolitan cities, and the poor people and the minorities and the marginalized and black Africans, they are underrepresented. And when this scholarship was done, their number has gone down only by 6 to 8%. If you look at this Justice Rajan Committee report, 165-page report, then the facts are speaking for themselves. We don't need any proof. The number of people coming from first-generation families, number of people coming from Tamil Nadu state boards, how the number of people from the CBSE board has gone up, how the number of students from English medium schools has gone up. And moreover, it may be convenient for the students to have one test, but on one particular day, if a student does not perform well, should he be penalized like this? I think there must be some options and some
But the larger point you're making here, a standardized test, one test doesn't necessarily solve the problem. And especially in a country like India, where you want doctors to serve in rural areas, if all the doctors who are getting through this exam are only from urban and cosmopolitan cities, they're unlikely to go back and serve in their in rural areas. Well, compared to someone who's from a rural area, may want to go back home and serve in their own home state. Let's get in some more NEET aspirants and pass outs. We have Arvind Kumar is a NEET pass out. Arvind Kumar, congratulations, you've passed this exam. आप हमें बताइए आपकी स्टोरी क्या है और आप और आपकी फैमिली ने कैसे, like it's obviously a united effort, कैसे पास की ये एग्जाम?
हेलो, मैं IM अरविंद कुमार मेलवी मेडिकल कॉलेज झांसी फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट। मैं रूरल एरिया से था, जो 2020 में नीट क्वालिफाई किया था, 620 मार्क्स आए थे तो उसके कॉलेज में।
Can we try and get Arvind back on, because I do think he has an interesting story. We'd love to hear more about it. Let's go across to Akansha Singh. She's a NEET topper for 2020. Wow. So Akansha, congratulations. You topped in a pandemic year. What was it like sitting for your exams?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I did. I got AIR 2 in NEET 2020 with a perfect score of 720.
Fantastic. Akansha, you make it sound so easy.
So it is easy. Like if it is done with a perfect strategy, it can be achieved.
So why can't this be, why don't we hear more students? I mean, just give us a reality on the ground. You say it is easy, if it's possible, if you can crack this. Why do we not hear more students speaking with the kind of confidence with which you are tonight?
Actually, I think that maybe because of the study background which they have gone through, like maybe 9th and 10th, till class 10th or 11th, they were not in a place where they are taught good things, or their background, like their family background doesn't support them much. So that is one reason. And the second thing is the syllabus is huge, and usually students get into depth of one particular topic, so they have to leave other topics. So there are like most of the students, they actually feel it difficult because they don't follow the correct strategy. So if they actually do it with a perfect strategy and they actually manage their time well for the 2 years, they can, I think, easily do it.
So you keep saying they don't follow the correct strategy, but can we talk about reality? Does this exam give you a reality check? You hear of so many people who tried the first attempt and give it another shot, and they're very worried about what their results. Do you think, what advice would you give candidates? Do you think one needs to be honest, analyze your own capabilities, your options, because you talk about how vast the curricula is. Unless you're convinced, when do you repeat an exam? When do you decide not to? Or, when is it enough of wasting of academic years, or how much mental trauma should one take on for this? What would you say to any aspirant?
The most important advice which I would like to give is that, don't take the pressure of the examination. Yeah, it's a very important exam, and your whole 2 years or 3 years of hard work will be dependent on a particular examination, but then it's not the end of life. Okay, so you don't have to just make it a mental pressure. You have to take it as a challenge which you have to overcome, and the best way to do it is by giving as many mock papers as possible, so as to analyze what mistakes you're doing,
So like with every mock paper, just analyze your mistakes and keep on improving. Listen to your teachers, whatever they are saying, they are more experienced. So learn from them and learn from your mistakes and just keep growing. Be within the boundary of the syllabus and don't burden yourself much. Like if you know that you can't study more than this, or you are just, don't exhaust yourself, because it's like a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you have to be active throughout the 2 years of your journey. So don't push yourself much, but yes, like try to set a boundary that you have to achieve this and just go for it and do it.
Just go for it, do it. Dr. Jaswant Jangra joins us, General Secretary of the AIIMS Resident Doctors Association. Dr. Jangra, you know, many would say it's easy for the topper to say it's not the end of the world, it's just an exam, go home. The reality is, you know, participating students, those who sat for the exam this week are calculating their scores. Parents are a worried lot. In our society, in India, exams like NEET are considered to be make or break. It's a career choice for most kids. All parents want their kids to become a doctor. So, what advice would you give to NEET students?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having on your show. I would like to suggest that, like the first thing, most of the students, they are pressurized by their peers, they are pressurized by their relatives or the parents just to get through the NEET exam. The important thing I would emphasize that they need to be counseled or they need to be educated properly just to have an idea like what are the scopes and like what are the lacunas they are having. And I think there should be at least one counselor or one mental health professional should be there in their schools or colleges, wherever they are staying. At least at AIIMS, where we are residing, we have student wellness center. So the students who are giving NEET PG exam, they often visit the psychologist or the psychiatrist. I'm psychiatrist by profession. So many students, they do come to us that that they are having severe stress, they are unable to sleep before the exam, or they are not feeling easy while giving the exam. So the seeking help for the exam would be equally important. And I think most of the students, like they should be taught, or I think they should be approached by the government or the teaching authority just to teach them the better coping strategy, like the suicides that happened. So I think 1 week back only, on 10th of September, we organized all over India. We held multiple events for suicide prevention, regarding suicide prevention. So I think there should be more emphasis on the better coping mechanisms, on building resilience, on the positive mental health, and I think more and more emphasis on the mental health need to be put on. Because the resilience, however, it is noted that it is coming down day by day, which we are noticing.
Manivazi Ravi Kumar, what would you say in response to, you know, the doctors here who say it's about mental health, that people need to focus on, you know, mentally overcoming this? Is it as simple as that? It's easy for us to sit here in air-conditioned studios and say, come on, you students need to be more mentally strong. What is the reality on the ground? And how can the governments ease this problem of access of students to, you know, to be able to clear this test without having to depend on more coaching classes?
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So now the point is, it's not like what sir says is absolutely true, but see, like I am from an upper middle class family, so I have support. I can approach psychologists, and I can get you know, I have mentors who support me and all that. But the kids in rural area, first of all, they are not even aware what is mental health.
Absolutely.
And also,
many even in urban areas in India still today.
Yeah, actually, they don't give importance to mental health as much as physical health. Also, like the process can be made easier when the school teachers and everybody start explaining the concept in depth, and also Akansha told like a strategy, right? It is like very, very important, and those and all, if it is taught in school itself, any board be it, if they teach the concept correctly and give proper standard examinations, application point of questions, the process can be made easier.
Okay, let's try and get Arvind. We're going to near the end of the show. Arvind Kumar, let's try you again. आप क्या बता रहे थे हमें? Please go ahead.
जैसा मैं बता रहा कि मैं रूरल एरिया से था, तो बैकग्राउंड सही नहीं था, और नीट होने से क्या है कि सिलेबस एक रहता है, तो पूरे ऑल इंडिया ओवर कंट्री सेम सिलेबस पढ़ता था। और ये मेडिकल कॉलेज में जाने के लिए मतलब इक्वलिटी एक तरफ से दिखता था कि सारे देश मतलब पूरे कंट्री से बच्चे स्टेट के जा रहे हैं लगभग सेम एग्जाम दे करके। अलग अलग राज्य जैसे स्टेट पीएमटी होते थे, एमसी इसके लिए अलग से फॉर्म भरने पड़ते, एक तरह का स्ट्रेस रहता था। कहीं कहीं सेंटर कभी कभी हो सकता था 1-2 दिन का गैप रहता था, तो ट्रेवलिंग में भी प्रॉब्लम आ सकती थी, और पैसे की क्राइसिस भी होती। जैसे मेरे पापा जी कबाड़ी का काम करते थे, ठेले का, तो उस समय थोड़ा एडजस्ट करना सही नहीं रहता था, तो फैमिली भी सही कंफर्टेबल नहीं होती थी। इस वजह से सिंगल एग्जाम होने से बेनिफिट हमको लगता था।
Well, Arvind Kumar, congratulations. Despite all this, you have cracked NEET. आप बताइए अरविंद, जब आप सुनते हो कि इस हफ्ते इतने 3 लोग कमिटेड सुसाइड, उन्होंने सुसाइड की है ओवर दीज एग्जाम्स, सोल्यूशन क्या है? आप क्या सजेस्ट करोगे सरकार को?
मैं क्या है बता सकता हूँ, मैं तो खुद मेरे ड्रॉप ज्यादा है, पहले भी इंटरव्यू में आ चुका था। मैंने उसको प्रेशर को हैंडल किया था, खुद प्रेशर को मतलब घर से बाहर रह के हैंडल किया था, कि मेरे फैमिली वाले भी चाहते थे घर से बाहर रहे, ताकि उसको प्रेशर को अपने सेल्फ कंट्रोल करना पड़ेगा। अब एंजाइटी क्या कर सकते हैं, मेरे भी गांव में लोग कुछ तरह तरह की बातें करते थे, कहने वाले तो कहेंगे ही, थोड़े प्रेशर झेलना खुद पड़ेगा। यही सब है कि सिंगल एग्जाम होने से बेनिफिट ही है एक तरह से।
Mr. Faizan Mustafa, I just want to give you the closing argument here. What can one do? This is an imperfect system. Given that it's not going to change overnight, what are the small incremental changes that we can make towards having a more equitable system, so we can see more students like Arvind Kumar come out and emerge on the top?
Sarah, the first thing is that the syllabus of the boards, state boards, and the NEET syllabus, that has to be changed. Personally, I would say India is a union of states. So ideally, we should be promoting pluralism and federalism. You would recall that education was originally in the state list. Mrs. Gandhi brought it in the concurrent list. We have been opposing, secularism, saying, 42nd Amendment brought in, but all these changes were also brought in by the same 42nd Amendment. Personally, I would feel that the courts imposed common admission test on the country. The government was saying at least don't hold it in 2016, but the Supreme Court did not allow it. I believe that there have to be several layers of the test, correct translations of the question papers, and if we can improve our schools, so the dependence on the coaching centers should go down.
All right, so no easy solutions, but this is something that we all need to work towards. Otherwise, we will continue to have horrific, nightmarish stories coming out of homes where young, promising lives have been lost because of the fear of not making it through the NEET. We're glad that we could throw some light, or at least keep the conversation going on this crucial issue. Thank you all for joining us on We the People tonight.